New York State Office of Real Property letter, discussion on that. How are we going to proceed in regards to that? I know about a year ago, I recall a conversation before you were trustee, Pat. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but this is...
I asked the question then, I asked the same question now. I mean, first of all, for this year, it's too late. The assessments have to be done. So we're going to have to get it done. Obviously, you decided not to be part of the process, so I guess again, that falls to Tim and I to take care of that. But what is the difference between the town assessment on the village and the...
I can get you a copy of that. I just received it, actually. And it's great. There's a great, well, there's a distance in between them. Let's put it that way.
What it's going to have on the village resident? You can't make a decision on that until you weigh that impact.
And that's what the Office of Real Property Services is there to do, to help you on that issue. So, if you so choose. They will send somebody to discuss the issue as well. Or you can call them up and talk to them on the phone. I'll give you the assessment rates for the, the overall assessment for the village as well as for the town. And the comparable rates, I think I could probably get those from Vicki Hayner as well. So, and Maureen should actually have them also. Planning board vacancies, there's one additional one since the last meeting. We had this under new business at the last meeting. Now with the old, we've had one additional vacancy, and that's Kathy Turcott. I'm filling that vacancy with Alan Quartercracks, as he had previously asked to be on the planning board and was not granted by the village board. And that term will expire in 2015. As far as Michael Martian being a full member, I'm okay with that. He said he's okay with it. I discussed it with him further. That one would have to be approved, so I don't know where you stand as far as approving Michael.
Think about it. My first declaration, I don't have a problem with it. I can do that about it.
Okay, because before you suggested him, and now you're...
I didn't suggest my declaration. You brought him up.
I said he was an alternate, and he was going to continue as an alternate, and you said, why not make him a full member?
That was one of the things you could do.
Okay. So, okay, so that's, we're looking at those being filled unless, of course, you have somebody else. I'm open to that. He can remain as alternate and fill the position, but ultimately I have to have an appointment. I should have an appointment. Local law pertaining to residency requirements in the Village of Victory. You wanted to add this, Pat, because...
I was going to add the resolution. I wanted to re-vote on the resolution.
Okay.
The meeting to expand it to the county.
Okay.
And if you want to have a local law drawn up, we can do that. That's what I told you in the email.
I don't think have you found anything out to the contrary that we need a local law?
I think it's more than that.
Well, what do you think?
It requires a little more research than that. I mean, I don't want to speculate right now on what I've read, but I think it is more than that.
Well,
I will.
it would have to be a local law that is the highest.
No, it's not the highest. The highest is have the state legislature amend the village law of the state of New York. That is the highest. That's absolutely true.
Of course it is, but in terms of what the village law is now, the highest that we can do is present a local law.
That's the highest we're able to do, but
Well,
is that the fix? That's what I want to find out.
it-
Is that the truth?
It is, but please look.
I can look into it.
Okay. That is the be-all and end-all from every attorney I consulted, so. So you would, in terms of that, you would wanna,
If that's the fix, I don't have a problem with it. I want to make sure that that is really what has to be done.
leaves, it does leave Brenda in a very bad situation
I
right now.
understand that. There's another workaround for that as well.
To employ her separately, not as a village official, that's the only workaround.
That's it.
Yeah, but she's appointed now.
Doesn't matter. She
She's
wasn't
appointed
appointed
now.
legally.
And
And these are the points I've been trying to
I
make.
think we all have the desire to make sure that Brenda stays employed here. Is that true?
I think that's
So
true.
then there's a way to work this out. I don't think there's anything. I think you want to do it right.
And I think a local law, my suggestion would be a local law, but do your research and find that out. Okay, auto shine credit app, I have it here, I'm ready to sign it, do it next week. 1.5% is, it does, I believe it does apply, I called them, a couple weeks ago. What's that?
1.5% per month after.
You get the file I sent you?
Yeah, it's too small, like.
Okay. It's 1.5%, the $25 fee does not apply to New York State. I called them today, they said, because I called them a couple weeks ago, and then I called them again today because I still didn't understand whether the $25 fee applied in New York State, and they said it does not, so it's 1.5%. And you have, it's due the 10th of each month, so it doesn't matter when you start it. It doesn't revolve around when you started the account, it revolves around, the bill comes out the 25th, and it's due the 10th of that month. And then there's just another 7-day grace period in between.
We don't foresee any significant expenditures here, do we? Alderson?
No, not significant, but occasionally.
Yes, occasionally we get things and there's a need there that something Curtis doesn't have. And they make keys better as well, so if you need keys to something, there's a million keys in the village, so. So I think it's okay, I'm perfectly fine with that, and there's enough of a grace period even after that we won't be charged, and it's only 1.5%, if we have, $10. So it's not anything at all. Let's see. New York State, the Office of State Comptroller, let's skip down to I here. The water board audit should be removed from that. Okay, Planning and Zoning Conference, January 26th, at the Saratoga Hilton. This has been on previous agendas. And we have one more member, that would be Alan, to approve as of right now, to go to that so that he meets the qualifications. Unless we would like to reduce those qualifications, I think it's good to have them the 4 hours, and I think it's money well spent. So Alan would be the only other approval. I believe we
I
approved
was
2
gonna
people
say,
at the
did
last.
you approve Billy and Pete?
And Billy and Pete at the
Okay.
last meeting, yep, so they're all set. Robert subdivision, request for a stormwater easement. How do you wish to proceed in regards to that?
I think it should be going to, like the Duffmo for review. I don't have any objection to taking the easement. I understand the planning board voted to hire their own attorney, which violates a local law, if I'm not mistaken. We discussed this to them. And also discussed it violates the zoning law. So this should be reviewed by Mike Duffmo. I don't have a problem taking the easement myself, but let's get something straight here. There's a local law that states that they don't have the right to do what they voted in, nor have it. Is there an agreement with that attorney anywhere?
I
Written agreement?
don't think there is there, Pat?
No, not at this point.
Then how can you hire a guy without an agreement?
We haven't solidified anything with him right now. We took a vote on whether the people on the board wanted to have him review the paperwork. But then I heard that you wanted Mr. Catalfamo to do it, and I thought, why are we wasting two people's monies?
I agree with that.
And I thought that it was moving ahead, which I was hoping that Mr. Catalfamo, because you had made the statement at the last meeting, was already contacted about it.
It's decided by this board. We've got to give it to them. If that's what we're gonna do, that's what we're doing. I think.
Well,
it's
I thought you had
proper course of
decided
action.
that at last meeting,
Then-
because you said, I want my
Then we'll get it
Catalfamo.
done. The course of action is to, let's get, be clear.
Well, it
There's a
holds it
local
up,
law
that's
about
all.
hiring an attorney by the planning board, and that.
Well, I don't, I'm not gonna argue it.
Under 7718,
We
they
have-
do have the right to professional services, and no local law can supersede that.
Yeah,
I
but they
stated
don't
that
have
at
any
the-
money in the
We
budget.
don't have money in the budget, we don't hold the escrows, there's no agreement, they can't make an agreement committing the village to spending money, there's all sorts of things. You want to play this
Yeah.
game, you can play this game, you did it before.
You can
If
deplete
you
the,
want to-
deplete the funds.
Actually,
move the
Mr.
funds.
Roberts has already come forward and said that he would pay for the attorney. He has no problem with that.
You want to see a
So-
conflict there?
I just got done
What's good for the
telling you.
village.
I got done telling you
We're
that.
doing good, what's good for the village, not what's good
Yes.
for the village.
Mhm.
Okay, so, again, that's something to be argued out between, I support the planning board and their decision is to hire their own legal counsel, and they can do professional services, they can hire them, and it's a majority of the board, under 7718, and there's no local law, drafted, undrafted thought in the mind that can supersede that, and if he does
It's
do-
not really good on
if
this legal
he
issue, so
does-
let's just be clear about something here. You've got your own interpretation, we have a local law, if you don't, if you wanna challenge it, challenge it.
Pat, you know, there is one thing that you could do as a board, and I will point that out, because I have talked to NICOM also. You can dissolve the planning board.
Well, I know
So if that's what you would like to do,
Okay.
fine.
Did I
Well,
ever
if you-
say that?
Well, what I'm saying though is if you don't dissolve it, then you have to give us the ability to be able to do what you've asked
You
us
read
to
your-
do.
You read your zoning law?
Absolutely. I sat in on making them, Pat, for 2.5 years.
What does it say on this subject in the zoning law? What does it say?
Under what, what do you,
About these hiring consultants and escrows and holding escrows, what does it say? in
it says that we can do that.
It doesn't say you can hold escrows, it doesn't say. you
It
can
doesn't
hold
say we
money.
can't
It
hold
doesn't-
escrows. It does not say that we cannot hold
I
escrows.
think you wanna go back and read.
Yeah, well, we had our attorney do that for us. That's why he did hold the escrow account.
Well, and never
The
come up with an
contract's
accounting for it
themselves.
either.
Well, then,
Yeah.
if he was,
Never produced an
requ-
accounting
I
for it.
requested it, you requested
Yep,
it,
never
then,
got it.
well, then go after him. What can I tell you? It's not up to me.
Who's liable for it?
Not me.
The planning board.
Yeah, okay.
You did it.
Okay. Okay, we're just, I don't wanna go around the block.
We're gonna, you can have it out with the planning board, I stand behind their decision to hire whatever professional services as a majority that they wished to hire. And
I'm
if-
gonna have Mike Delphine, if we agree here, Mike, Jim, I agree, with Mike Delphine review this, because we have to protect the village's interest here, and I'm not sure that it is.
Can you guarantee a date that he'll have it done by? Because he
Yeah,
is
really.
really bad at doing
Oh,
it.
it's really
Yeah,
bad.
he's
It's
really
really,
bad
really-
at getting
Yeah,
a date,
years.
getting it done.
And you have a vested interest.
Well, why
in this
should we
town.
do it on your timeline? When you
No.
come to every meeting and tell him why he's wrong?
Well,